My dear friends, in this journey called life, every moment, every challenge, and every delay has a purpose, a divine intention that we often fail to recognize. We spend so much time wishing to be somewhere else, doing something else, or becoming someone else, that we forget where we are right now is not a mistake. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are exactly where you are meant to grow. Sometimes life plants us in uncomfortable soil, environments that test our patience, relationships that challenge our peace, and moments that stretch our faith. But growth never happens in comfort. A seed doesn't bloom in sunlight alone. It first breaks in the darkness underground. The soil that feels heavy is actually protecting the seed from the harshness of the world until it's strong enough to rise. When things don't go according to plan, we often question life. Why me? Why now? But maybe the question should be, what is this moment trying to teach me? Because every delay, every disappointment, and every closed door is either preparing you or protecting you. Sometimes rejection is redirection, and sometimes a pause is just preparation for something greater. You may look at others and think they're miles ahead, but remember, a flower doesn't compete with the one next to it. It simply blooms in its own time. Growth is not about speed. It's about depth. When life slows you down, it's not punishment. It's preparation. You are being strengthened, refined, and equipped for what's coming next. So if you're struggling, if you feel stuck, don't despise the season you're in. Learn from it. Trust that you're being molded by something wiser than your understanding. Because one day, you'll look back and realize that what felt like pressure was actually purpose. You are not buried. You are planted. Stay patient, stay faithful, and keep growing right where you are. Every moment in life, no matter how insignificant it may seem, carries within it a hidden purpose. We often rush through our days believing that some moments are ordinary, some are wasted, and others are unlucky. But when we look deeper we realize that there is a divine design at play, an invisible thread weaving every experience together into a meaningful pattern. The truth is, life does not make mistakes. The place you stand in right now, the challenges you face, the people you encounter, all of it is part of a larger picture that you may not yet see. Every moment, even the painful or confusing ones, has a reason for being. Think about it. When we go through a joyful moment, we easily accept it as a blessing. But when life brings us storms, we resist, we question, we complain. Yet, those storms are the very moments that shape us. If every day were smooth and easy, we would never discover our true strength. We wouldn't learn patience, endurance, or empathy. It's often through the difficult seasons that we gain the qualities that define our character. The hard days teach us to appreciate the good ones, and the losses make us value what we have. In life's classroom, even pain is a teacher. Sometimes, what feels like a delay is simply life's way of preparing us. You might be waiting for an opportunity, a breakthrough, or a dream to come true, and it seems like nothing is moving, but in those still moments, something important is happening. You are being refined. Just like gold must go through fire to shine, you are being shaped to handle what you've been praying for. Without that preparation, the very thing you desire could overwhelm you. Every pause, every waiting period is intentional. It is teaching you how to grow in strength, how to deepen your roots before you bloom. We often think we are behind in life because we compare our journey with others. But everyone's timeline is different. Just because someone else reached their destination sooner doesn't mean you are late. You are simply walking your unique path. The experiences that seem meaningless now may later become the very lessons that give you wisdom and resilience. It's only when we look back that we realize how every step, every detour, and every disappointment connected perfectly. The job you lost, the friendship that ended, the door that closed, each one redirected you towards something better suited for your growth. Every moment carries a seed of purpose, but to see it, we must learn to trust life's timing. We must believe that nothing is wasted. Even when you feel like you've taken a wrong turn, you are still being guided. Life doesn't waste experiences, it transforms them. The moments that break you are the same moments that build your depth. The tears you cry today water the soil of your tomorrow. Every joy, every heartbreak, every delay, all are necessary ingredients for the person you are becoming. So, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this moment trying to teach me?" That shift in mindset opens your heart to growth. You stop resisting and start learning. You realize that purpose isn't found in some faraway destination. It's found in the very moment you're living right now. Every moment, whether pleasant or painful, is an opportunity, an invitation to grow, to understand, and to trust that you are exactly where you're meant to be. Growth never happens in comfort. The moments that truly shape us are rarely the ones that feel easy or effortless. It's the uncomfortable seasons, the times when everything feels uncertain or heavy, that hold the greatest potential for transformation. Just like a seed must crack open in the darkness before it can reach the light, we too must go through breaking moments before we can rise stronger. That breaking is not the end, it's the beginning of becoming something greater. The pressure, the pain, and the uncertainty are all part of the process that pushes us toward growth. We often praise for strength, patience, or wisdom. Yet when life gives us situations that require those very qualities, we resist them. We want the growth without the struggle, the wisdom without the confusion, the victory without the battle. But life doesn't work that way. Muscles only grow when they are stretched. Diamonds form under pressure. Butterflies emerge only after a struggle within the cocoon. The same law applies to our inner lives. Every test, every challenge, and every discomfort is a sacred opportunity for expansion. You can't grow if you only live within the boundaries of what feels safe and easy. When life puts you in a difficult situation, it's not a punishment, it's preparation. The struggles you face today are shaping the strength you'll need tomorrow. Every challenge refines your patience, builds your resilience, and deepens your understanding. It's easy to have faith when everything is going well, but true faith is built in the seasons when nothing makes sense. It's easy to be kind when people treat you well, but real compassion is tested when others hurt you. Growth is not about how comfortable your life is. It's about how willing you are to evolve when it isn't. Sometimes the discomfort comes in the form of waiting for a dream to manifest, for healing to come, or for clarity to appear can feel unbearable. But even in the waiting, growth is happening. Waiting teaches us humility, patience, and surrender, qualities we rarely develop when everything comes easily. The waiting season strengthens your roots so that when the storm comes, you won't be easily shaken. It builds endurance and deepens your trust that everything unfolds when it's meant to, not when you demand it to. The truth is, we grow the most when life doesn't go according to our plan. The pain of rejection, the sting of failure, the discomfort of change, all of these experiences are tools that shape our inner world. They strip away our ego, reveal our weaknesses, and remind us of what truly matters. Comfort may feel nice, but it rarely teaches us anything new. Growth, on the other hand, teaches us how to adapt, how to let go, and how to become stronger from within. So when you find yourself in an uncomfortable season, don't rush to escape it. Instead, look within and ask, what part of me is being developed right now? Maybe you're learning patience, maybe strength, or maybe forgiveness. Whatever it is, embrace it. Because once you've walked through discomfort and survived, you carry a new kind of confidence. Not one that comes from ease, but from endurance. The soil of discomfort is the birthplace of greatness. It's where resilience is born, faith is tested, and purpose is refined. You may not see it now, but one day you'll look back and realize that the season that hurt you the most actually grew you the most. Challenges often arrive in our lives disguised as obstacles, but beneath their rough surface lies an opportunity for transformation. Life's difficulties are not meant to destroy us, they are meant to reveal the strength, courage, and potential that lie dormant within us. When everything is easy, we stay the same. But when life shakes us, stretches us, or even breaks us, that's when we discover who we really are. Each obstacle carries a hidden lesson, one that cannot be learned in comfort or convenience. Growth demands resistance, just like a seed must push through the soil to reach the light. I flew for 22 hours to be in thee. Think about how many times you've looked back something that once broke you and realized that it actually built you. The moments that seemed unbearable once upon a time are the very moments that shaped your resilience. The heartbreak that felt like an ending was actually preparing you for a deeper love. The failure that embarrassed you taught you humility and endurance. Every challenge forces us to make a choice, to give up or to grow up. When we choose growth, we stop seeing obstacles as walls and start seeing them as stepping stones. Often, we think that life would be better if it were easier. But imagine a world with no challenges, no struggles, no setbacks. Would we ever develop strength? Would we ever learn courage, patience, or perseverance? A life without challenges might sound peaceful, but it would also be shallow. It's the tough seasons that build depth in us. They teach us to value what we have, to rely on faith, and to trust that something good can come even from the hardest places. Every challenge refines us, stripping away what is unnecessary and revealing what truly matters. When you face an obstacle, it's natural to feel fear, frustration, or even doubt. But that is exactly where growth begins, in the tension between what is and what could be. The struggle is not there to block your path. It's there to strengthen your steps. Just like a climber builds strength while ascending a mountain, every challenge you overcome prepares you for higher ground. Without resistance, there can be no progress. The obstacle becomes the very path to your growth. Challenges also teach us empathy. When you've walked through pain, you understand others better. You become gentler, kinder, and more compassionate. The person who has suffered knows how to comfort those who are suffering. The person who has fallen knows how to help others rise. Our challenges expand our hearts, making us not just stronger, but also softer, strong enough to endure, yet gentle enough to care. That balance is the essence of true maturity. So, when difficulties appear, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" That question transforms your perspective. Suddenly, challenges stop being punishments and start becoming invitations, invitations to grow, to evolve, and to become more aligned with your purpose. Life isn't testing you to break you. It's testing you to prepare you. Every obstacle is a mirror reflecting your potential. The greater the challenge, the greater the growth waiting on the other side. Remember, no mountain is climbed without struggle, and no masterpiece is created without pressure. The storms of life are not there to wash you away, but to cleanse you of fear and awaken your strength. You are stronger than you think, and every challenge you face is proof that you're capable of more than you've ever imagined. What stands in your way today might one day become the very thing that leads you toward your greatest victory. When life becomes difficult or confusing, our first instinct is often to ask, "Why is this happening to me?" It's a question born out of frustration, fear, and helplessness. But what if instead of asking why, we began asking, what can I learn from this? What is this moment trying to teach me? This simple shift in perspective changes everything. The truth is, every situation, no matter how painful or confusing, has something to teach us. When we choose to learn from life, instead of resisting it, Every hardship becomes a stepping stone toward wisdom. Every experience, good or bad, carries within it a message for our growth. When we only focus on the pain, we miss the lesson. Life is a teacher that repeats its lessons until we understand them. If we keep reacting the same way, facing the same disappointments, or meeting the same kind of people who hurt us, maybe the problem isn't the situation, maybe it's the lesson we've yet to learn. The universe has a way of repeating the classroom until the student is ready. When we change our question from why to what, we shift from being victims of our circumstances to students of our own illusion. When you face a setback, it's easy to feel angry, discouraged, or even betrayed by life. But imagine if, instead of seeing it as a punishment, you saw it as preparation. Every delay could be teaching you patience. Every heartbreak could be teaching you strength. Every disappointment could be teaching you trust. The lessons don't come neatly packaged. They come disguised as problems. Growth isn't comfortable because learning isn't easy. Sometimes life takes away what we thought we needed, not to hurt us, but to show us that we were capable of standing without it. When we start asking, what can I learn? We stop blaming and start understanding. We begin to see that life's challenges are not enemies. They are instructors. They teach us about forgiveness, humility, gratitude, and resilience. The argument that broke your peace might be teaching you self-control. The rejection that stung your heart might be showing you where you placed your worth. The loneliness that makes you ache might be inviting you to connect more deeply with yourself. Every difficult emotion holds a key to self-awareness if we are brave enough to face it. This way of thinking transforms not only how we handle pain, but also how we see purpose. When we recognize that there's something to learn in every circumstance, we start to move with gratitude instead of resentment. Gratitude doesn't mean pretending that everything is perfect. It means acknowledging that even the imperfect moments are shaping you. Life's lessons are not always loud. Sometimes they whisper through stillness, silence, or sorrow. But if you listen closely, you'll find meaning even in your mistakes. When we approach life with curiosity rather than complaint, growth happens naturally. Asking, "What can I learn?" opens our hearts to wisdom. It allows us to transform pain into purpose and confusion into clarity. It's not about denying your feelings. It's about directing them toward understanding. The moment you start asking the right questions, you turn every experience, even the hardest ones, into a teacher. And when life becomes a classroom, you realize that every challenge is simply another opportunity to become wiser, stronger, and more compassionate than you were before. Rejection is one of the hardest things to experience. It feels personal, painful, and unfair. When doors close, when opportunities slip away, or when people walk out of our lives, we often feel like something has gone wrong. But what if rejection isn't the end of the story? What if it's simply redirection? a way of being guided towards something far more fitting for who we are meant to become. Sometimes life says, no, not because we don't deserve something, but because we deserve better. What feels like loss in the moment is often protection in disguise. There are times when we set our hearts on something, a dream, a relationship, a goal, and when it doesn't work out, we feel shattered. We question our worth, our timing, and even our faith. But when we look back later, we realize that if we had received what we wanted at that moment, we wouldn't have been ready for it. Life has a mysterious way of saving us from things that look good, but aren't good for us. Rejection is not a verdict on your value. It's simply a form of divine redirection, steering you away from what would limit your growth. Imagine a door closing in front of you. In that moment, you might see only loss, but behind that door, something important is happening. Another path is being prepared, one that you cannot see yet, because you're meant to grow through the waiting. Every rejection carries within it a redirection, a new beginning that requires patience and trust. The pause between the closing of one chapter and the opening of another is uncomfortable, but it's sacred. It's the space where transformation happens. You are being reshaped, not rejected. Sometimes people leave your life abruptly and it breaks your heart. But even in that pain, there's a lesson. Maybe they were meant to teach you something and not meant to stay forever. Maybe their departure created room for healthier connections to form. We often cling to people, opportunities, and situations out of fear of the unknown. Yet the moment we let go, we make space for something new, something that aligns better with who we're becoming. Rejection is often life's way of saying, not this, not now. There's more for you. When we're rejected, it's natural to feel unworthy or unloved. But worth is not determined by who accepts you. It's inherent in who you are. The job you didn't get, the person who didn't choose you, or the dream that didn't unfold, none of those define your value. Sometimes rejection is life's way of keeping you aligned with your purpose. You're being redirected toward a path that fits your growth, not your comfort. The no you received could be the very thing that leads you to your greatest yes. It's only when we learn to trust this process that rejection begins to lose its sting. You start to see that every no carries a hidden blessing. Every time you thought something was falling apart, it was actually falling into place. The pain of rejection eventually becomes gratitude when you realize that what you wanted was smaller than what life had planned for you. You were never being abandoned, you were being rerouted. Rejection is not life's way of closing you off. It's life's way of pushing you toward what truly belongs to you. Sometimes the most beautiful beginnings are hidden within the heartbreaks that once made us question everything. Comparison is one of the most silent thieves of joy. It creeps into our minds quietly and convinces us that we're not enough. We look at others, their achievements, their appearance, their lifestyle, and we start to measure our worth against theirs. But growth is not a race, and success is not a competition. Everyone's journey unfolds at a different pace, and comparing yours to someone else's only distracts you from your own progress. The flower that blooms in spring is no less beautiful than the one that blooms in autumn. Each grows in its own season, under its own light, and according to its own rhythm. We live in a world where comparison is almost unavoidable. Social media shows us the highlight reels of other people's lives, the successes, the celebrations, the smiles, and we forget that behind every perfect post, there are struggles, insecurities, and failures unseen. We see someone's chapter 20 and compare it to our chapter 1, not realizing that they too started somewhere small and uncertain. Growth cannot be compared because it is deeply personal. The moment we start competing with others, we lose sight of the quiet, steady progress happening within us. Every person has their own purpose, their own lessons, and their own timing. Just because your life looks different doesn't mean you're behind. The truth is, you can't be late in a life that's designed specifically for you. What's meant for you will find you. Not sooner, not later, but exactly when you're ready. When you compare yourself to someone else, you're essentially questioning the wisdom of your own timing. You're telling yourself that their path is better than yours, when in reality, both are beautiful in their own way. Comparison doesn't just rob you of peace. It blinds you to your blessings. You start focusing on what you lack instead of appreciating what you already have. You stop celebrating small victories because someone else seems to have achieved more. But happiness doesn't come from having everything. It comes from being grateful for what you have in there. When you learn to celebrate your own journey, you stop needing external validation. You begin to realize that your worth is not tied to being better than someone else. It's found in becoming better than you were yesterday. There's a quiet kind of confidence that comes from knowing that your path is your own. You stop rushing. You stop forcing outcomes. You learn to honor your pace, even if it's slow. Because slow growth is still growth. Some seasons are meant for blooming, and others are meant for rooting. And without strong roots, the bloom won't last. So when you see someone shining, don't feel threatened. Feel inspired. Their light doesn't dim yours. The world has room for every soul to shine in their own way. The day you stop comparing yourself to others is the day you truly start living. You begin to see your journey not as a competition, but as a sacred process of becoming. Every detour, every delay, and every disappointment has a reason. You are exactly where you're supposed to be, learning exactly what you're meant to learn. Life is not about getting ahead of others. It's about growing into your own potential. When you stay true to your own pace and trust your timing, peace replaces pressure and gratitude replaces envy. And in that stillness, you finally realize You were never in competition at all. Patience is one of the most powerful virtues a person can possess, yet it is also one of the hardest to practice. We live in a world that celebrates speed, instant results, quick success, and fast answers. But the truth is, the most meaningful things in life take time. Just as a tree doesn't grow overnight, neither do wisdom, character, or peace. Patience is the art of trusting the process even when the results are not visible. It's about having faith that growth is happening beneath the surface, even when everything appears still. In moments of waiting, we often feel restless. We want the dream to come true now, the breakthrough to happen now, the prayer to be answered now. But growth has its own rhythm. The universe does not rush, and yet everything unfolds perfectly on time. A flower doesn't bloom by pulling at its petals, and fruit doesn't ripen by forcing it to grow faster. Likewise, when we rush life, we rob ourselves of the lessons hidden in the waiting. Patience teaches us to slow down, to observe, and to appreciate the journey rather than obsess over the destination. When we are impatient, it's usually because we're driven by fear. Fear that things won't work out. Fear that we're falling behind, or fear that time is slipping away. But patience replaces fear with faith. It reminds us that life's timing is wiser than our own. What's meant for us cannot be taken away, and what isn't meant for us will never truly belong to us. When you learn to trust this truth, patience becomes easier. You stop chasing outcomes and start cultivating peace in the present moment. Waiting is not wasted time. It's the season where growth happens in silence. Think of a seed buried in the soil. It's invisible, but that doesn't mean it's lifeless. Beneath the ground, roots are forming, preparing it to break through the surface when the time is right. The same happens within us. The waiting season strengthens our faith, shapes our perspective, and builds our endurance. It's where we learn resilience, humility, and gratitude. Without patience, we might get what we want too soon before we're truly ready to handle it. Sometimes we confuse patience with passivity, but they are not the same. Patience is active trust, a calm confidence that things are unfolding exactly as they should. It's continuing to work, pray, and prepare even when results are delayed. It's knowing that your effort is never wasted, even if it doesn't yield immediate results. The greatest successes often come after long seasons of perseverance. The strongest people are not those who rush ahead, but those who know how to wait without giving up. Every moment of waiting refines you. It teaches you to let go of control, to accept uncertainty, and to develop inner strength. It softens the heart while sharpening the mind. And when what you've been waiting for finally arrives, you appreciate it more deeply because you've been molded by the process. The waiting season prepares you for the blessing. Without it, you might take what comes for granted or fail to sustain it. So, patience isn't just about waiting. It's about how you wait. It's about staying peaceful, hopeful, and grateful even when things take longer than expected. The most beautiful things in life, love, success, healing, growth, all require time to mature. You can't rush what's sacred. Every delay is divine preparation. Every slow season is nurturing something within you that will bloom beautifully in its time. And when it finally does, you'll realize the waiting wasn't a pause. It was part of the plan. Every season of life carries its own sacred purpose, even the ones that feel stagnant or uncomfortable. We often believe that meaning exists only in moments of excitement, success, or visible progress. But the truth is, the quiet seasons, the ones filled with waiting, repetition, or uncertainty, are just as divine. These moments are not empty, they are formative. They are shaping your character in ways that success never could. The current season you're in, no matter how ordinary it seems, is sacred because it is preparing you for something beyond what you can see right now. When life slows down or feels repetitive, it's easy to become impatient or discouraged. We start thinking that we're stuck, that nothing is changing, that we've lost our purpose. But stillness doesn't mean stagnation. Beneath the surface, transformation is taking place. Just as the roots of a tree grow strongest underground before it bears fruit, your inner strength, discipline, and wisdom are being developed in these quiet moments. The season you're in is not wasted. It's working within you, refining your patience, deepening your faith, and building the foundation for what's next. We often romanticize the idea of new beginnings and breakthroughs, but we forget that before every new season, there is a season of preparation. You cannot rush it. You cannot skip it. Preparation seasons teach us humility and gratitude. They strip away distractions and help us focus on what truly matters. You may feel invisible right now, but invisibility is sometimes a gift. It gives you the freedom to grow without the pressure of being seen. It's in those unseen moments that true growth happens. When life seems silent, it's often because something profound is being nurtured within you. Your current season might also be testing your endurance. It might be teaching you to trust when you cannot see the outcome. Every challenge you face right now is strengthening your spiritual and emotional muscles. The waiting, the repetition, the uncertainty, all of it is building resilience. Sometimes, the lesson of a season is not about movement, but about maintenance, learning how to stay grounded, how to keep faith alive, how to hold peace even when nothing seems to be happening. These are the skills that sustain you when bigger challenges come. There's also beauty in embracing the present without constantly longing for the next chapter. When we're always focused on what's ahead, we miss the wisdom that this season holds. Maybe this is your time to learn self-control, or to rediscover your creativity, or to heal from old wounds. Maybe this season is teaching you how to be content without needing everything to be perfect. Every day holds a lesson if you're willing to listen. The sacredness of your current moment lies in its potential to mold you into who you're meant to be. The truth is, every season has a reason. The blooming, the waiting, the falling apart, and the rebuilding. Each one contributes something vital to your journey. If you rush through this season, you might miss the depth it offers. When you learn to see every stage of life as sacred, even the slow or painful ones, peace enters your heart. You stop resisting what is and start appreciating what's unfolding. The beauty of life isn't found only in the harvest. It's also in the quiet seasons of planting, nurturing, and trusting. Your current season is not a mistake. It's a sacred part of your growth story. And when you honor it, it will prepare you for the abundance that's waiting just beyond it.